Namaste. My name is Dr. Diwakar Sukul. I'm a founder of the Chemicals Clinic in London. By profession, I'm a chartered clinical psychologist, hypnotherapist, and neurolinguistic programmer. But also, I am a searcher of mind and explorer of spirituality. In today's journey, I will be introducing you with someone who is totally awakened or evolved soul. I met him just a few days ago, and I requested him to share his wisdom with all of you. There are very few people in this world whom we can call true guru. Guru means, in my opinion, someone who can take you from darkness to the light. And when you meet up with Guruji, I call him Guruji, Guru Sakshi Shree, that means a lot to me, because meeting up with him, it was such a wonderful experience, extraordinary, which I cannot explain in words. He can go through, he can read you through a book, he can just tell you what exactly is happening in your life, but at the same time, it's not about just a problem he talks about. He gives you lifelong solutions and the ways to connect with your inner self. So, Guruji, I'm very privileged that you have given me an opportunity to meet you today in India. But I would like you to meet up with a lot of people in the West, in the UK, because there are a lot of people in this world are suffering and they're looking for a true master, a true knowledge. And this knowledge and wisdom, what I have seen and experienced, and it is just not about the words. It's like when you meet up with somebody, you feel that you're a blessed soul, because there is when you meet up with Guru, the first thing which I always say, if you can have a continuity of joy and bliss and happiness in the presence of the evolved soul, then it means that person whom you're seeing is a true Guru. So I'm very blessed today. Welcome, Guruji.
Wonderful, Diwakarji. I'm feeling very happy to be taken to the West, and no doubt I felt very happy to interact with you, and it's a very wonderful opportunity for me to interact with a whole lot of people through you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm very blessed, Guruji. I just wanted to understand your journey, because I have read a lot of information about you, but you never talk about yourself. You talk about humanity, you talk about mind power, you talk about how you can manifest your dreams, etc. I know that you are a civil servant, or you were a civil servant. What brought you into spirituality and giving the light to this world?
In fact, Diwakarji, I always felt that telling things about myself is simply a story of ego. And stories of ego are prevailing all over the world. People are busy in telling things about themselves. They are this, they are that. And instead of going into all those details, I always prefer to share my own invaluable experiences to the people, which could transform their lives, rather than taking them to the nitty-gritty aspects of my mundane world, in which only ego trips are there. But as you are putting so earnestly, I would like to tell you that as a small boy of 9, I had been playing with other kids in my home village, and there I happened to play so joyfully that the joy of the childhood knows no bounds, no limits. And simply there was a specific play in my village. We were just whirling at a single place, just moving in rotation. We can say just in circular motion. And I started moving in circular motion, and I kept on gaining momentum and momentum. I don't know for how long I continued to move in circular motion And then, as if some power had overtaken me, while trying to stop, I was finding myself helpless to stop. And I kept on moving. And sometime I just fell down. I didn't know how did I fell down. But when I fell, for quite long, I was in a state of void, in a state of thoughtlessness, as if immense joy had reigned over me. I was over-thrilled. I can't express those beautiful moments. That ecstasy I could never imagine, nor could I ever experience it again. And it was simply the inner search to regain the same ecstatic experience that I started asking from people. I started telling that experience to my family members, to my friends, to anyone. But at that age, I was so small that I could neither explain it, nor I could make it known to others, nor I could ask the right questions from them. But something extraordinary I had felt that I wanted to know, I wanted to experience again. That was the same thing that took me to so many gurus, that took me to understanding a lot about God, godliness, spirituality and everything. But after a long gap, when I happened to meet my spiritual master, just as you had come to me and you were sitting before me and I started writing about you.
Yeah.
Things which were never known to me about your life, I just wrote them down. Exactly the same way, he was the first person in my life who could ask me the first thing that you had been coming to me simply to know as to what was that ecstatic experience which you went through at the age of 9. Then he was the first person who could relate it to me without myself anything about it. And then he again promised me that I will take you to that experience. And you will wonder that during my sitting with him in the next, for about 15 minutes, I could get a glimpse of that experience. It was only his presence that gave me that ecstatic experience, just a glimpse of that experience. And that was the moment that I could understand that it was something supernatural, that there was something which I could know and understand and experience with his help. And that is what happened. My whole life was transformed, and the whole thing that happened is something which I have been telling to the whole world since I received it.
What a transformation. But what is interesting, when I was sitting with you, Guruji, it's not about just what I was thinking or what was going on in my life. It's exact sequence. The questions which I had, they were in the same sequence of these questions what I have been having in my mind, which makes me think that this cannot be something that is ordinary experiences. But
absolutely right. And I would like to tell you that there is no miracle also involved into it. There is a specific science behind it. And that science I want to communicate to the whole world. And that is why, to make it understandable to the whole world, I have to tell you one thing. That there are 3 fundamental principles of life. If we go through them and if we pass through the experiences of those 3 fundamental principles, we can transform our lives and we can achieve anything from material riches to a state of enlightenment, from worldly riches to the riches of the inner. From material well-being to spiritual enlightenment, this whole journey can be summarized into three fundamental maxims of life transformation. The first fundamental maxim is everybody must learn the science of mind power.
Yeah.
Secondly, everybody must learn the science of being in a state of no mind. And thirdly, everybody must learn the science of joyful living on this earth. If these three things are combined together, this contains the essence of the whole life transformation theories and philosophies of life. This contains the essence of all spirituality on this planet, be it Hinduism or Jainism or Buddhism or Christianity or Judaism, whatsoever it is. But these three are the fundamental dimensions of our being, which everybody on this planet must learn. We are learning the science, technology, atomic energy and everything, but there is a greater possibility of explosion of consciousness within oneself, and that power is many times more explosive than the atomic explosion, the explosion of consciousness. And there can be a quantum leap in human consciousness, and that is the requirement of the age for which I have been working.
Brilliant, good. Yeah. It's very interesting what you said about the mind power, because I have been, I'm a hypnotherapist by profession as well. So I've done a lot of past life regression.
Yeah.
When you were talking about your experiences at the age of 9,
Yeah.
I remember reading the biography or autobiography of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Guru of Vivekananda.
Yeah.
So he started going to the Samadhi at the age of 7. If this is the same experiences, like when you say about, because what we are struggling in this life, that whoever is on this earth, when we talk about Dharma, I think the only thing what we are really trying to understand that how we can achieve happiness or inner bliss. And you said that through the mind power, and then ultimate journey is to live joyfully. Now, do you think that your chosen soul, that's the reason why you got that experience at the age of 9, and then you got the right guru who has transformed your life? What is your mission of your life?
Very true. Whatever I could experience in this life, I have my own understanding that a great majority of people on this planet are living this life just as a burden. They are sad, morose and melancholy every moment.
Sure.
Nobody has got the zest for life, the enthusiasm for life. There is no radiance on their faces. Everybody is living as if he is under a great burden, as if the whole hell has fallen on. And I have my own understanding that everybody can be happy, everybody can be joyful, everybody can be ecstatic. Simply they need to understand a few dimensions of life, and they can understand that this mind is the root cause of all misery.
How do you connect? I mean, the first question that comes into my mind, that when we talk about the mind from the Western perspective, we're talking about mind in terms of flow of thoughts. When we go through the mind with the Patanjali, for example, he talks about the 3 functions of mind: recording and power of discrimination and then identification or I. What is mind in your
Basically,
understanding?
mind is not any specific organism of your physiology.
Right.
It's simply the functioning of your brain. And the functioning of the brain can be termed as thinking or thought. So my understanding is that your mind is nothing but a forest of thoughts. Just as a group of trees is known as a forest, so a chain of thoughts is known as mind.
Sure.
So this chain of thought, what that we call mind, it is the root cause of generating all our experiences. You get what you think about or focus upon, whether you want it or you do not want it. This is an established principle of psychology also.
Sure.
As a psychologist, you know what power this mind plays. It can create a number of things. It can create whatever you can think. That is why it has been said that whatever you can conceive, you can achieve.
True.
So this power of creation, which is latent in your thoughts, needs to be tamed, needs to be understood, and needs to be rightly utilized. Right utilization of this mind power can turn the hell of life into paradise. Now the fundamental question arises as to how to tame this mind.
Sure.
For taming this mind, in Western theories and Western philosophies, so much emphasis has been laid on doing this or doing that. But my experience and the experience of the Upanishad Rishis had been that simply cutting the roots of the mind is essential for getting rid of all the troubles of your life. And cutting the roots of mind is not an impossibility, as has been thought by the West. The West did not have any experience of cutting the roots of the mind or the state of no mind. And the Eastern mysticism is based largely around the theory that the cutting of the roots of the mind and being in a state of no mind is the ultimate achievement of a human being on this planet. If you can achieve the state of no mind, only then the right wisdom can arise from within you. What we call knowledge and what the Western philosophy or Western thinkers have been talking of about knowledge, that knowledge is only a borrowed knowledge or based on simply logic and argumentation. But Indian rishis and the spiritual masters of the Upanishadic age, they had their own experience. Then when you are in a state of no mind, when the mind has been put aside, then you get the real experience of your own self, of your own being. And that real experience of your own self, of your own being, is the true knowledge. And that true knowledge comes in the form of bliss or eternal joy.
How do you connect mind with the soul? Because basically we understand that possibly, I mean, what I have read so far in what you said about the Western approaches, which is like one of the most, what we call sort of approaches as cognitive behavioral therapy, which is about really thinking about your thoughts and, your thoughts and their behavior and action, etc. But it is just a conscious mind. It's like a cognitive mind. But there are a lot of things that are happening within ourselves, which is possibly in subconscious mind and unconscious mind. So our rishis, I think they said that the mind is the bridge between your body and soul. How do you describe soul and where mind exists? there will be no one there.
A very beautiful question. I appreciate your curiosity to know about soul. Without going into the philosophies and deliberations of thinkers and philosophers, either Western or Eastern, I would like to talk on the basis of my own authentic experience. My experience says that when you have dropped all your thinking processes, when you are no more any victim of the thought process, in other words, when you have become capable of putting your thoughts aside, only in that state, whatever experience happens within you is the experience of the soul. The experience of the soul is the experience of your own being, and your thoughts are the only hindrance in between. I will try to put it in another form.
Sure.
Just as you have been a master of psychology and other sciences associated with human mind, I would like to tell you that our rishis and especially the yoga had talked of 5 seats of body: the causal body and the subtle bodies and this gross body.
Sure.
So what causes us to take birth and rebirth is the causal body, and that is our thoughts and emotions which we live in this life. They are so subtle that they become the cause of our next birth.
But mine, as far as I read somewhere, you may have to correct me, that your physical body is like your physical body, your subtle body is a combination of mind, and your causal body is the ultimate, where you need to go to the cause. Is that causal body is connected with the inner self, or is the causal body we are talking about connecting it with the God? And then if it is a God's body, then what happens when we die, so
you see, the word causal itself implies that it is the cause. It is the seed. Seed of what? It is the seed for your subtle bodies and your gross body. So, the life which you are living, all your emotions and thoughts, they go with this soul, and they become the cause of taking rebirth. Your emotions, your thoughts, they are so subtle that they are not left with the gross body. They become the cause of taking rebirth, and when you take rebirth, the subtle body which you assume, there are 5 dimensions. One is the physical body, that we call Annamaya Kosha.
Yeah.
Then the second is the vital body, which we call Pranamaya Kosha. Then the third is mental body. Yeah. And then the fourth is the body of consciousness.
Yeah. Vijnanamaya.
Yeah, Vijnanamaya Kosha. Yeah. And the final is bliss body, Anandamaya Kosha. So these are the 5 bodies. You are asking me what is soul. When you transcend all these 5 bodies, as long as you are in these bodies, the ultimate body is bliss body. Before that, the body of consciousness. When you enter into consciousness, through your spiritual processes, you can transcend these bodies, the physical body, the vital body, the mental body, and ultimately you can enter consciousness. And when you enter the body of consciousness and you become fully conscious of yourself, of your being, then you become naturally occupant of the 5th body, that is the bliss body. Bliss body automatically is occupied by you. then you are always in a state of eternal joy. But as long as you are in a state of eternal bliss, it simply means that the opposite can also be
true
there. Then the non-dualism is not achieved. A dualistic state continues to be there also. It is only when you transcend even the bliss body, then you get established into your being, into your soul. Now the non-dualism prevails. Now you are one with yourself, and now you are one with the whole universe. In that state, oneness is achieved. And spirituality is nothing but a journey of transcendence from this physical body through all these bodies up to the bliss body, and then transcending even the bliss body, then you become a man without boundaries, a man without limitations. Now you get established into your own self. That is what we call, it is Advait or non-dualism is achieved, is attained. And in that state, oneness with the whole universe is attained. That is why we said that the drop becomes the ocean.
What a beautiful explanation, because I have been exploring these 5 koshas or 5 shells, but never got that kind of understanding what I got today, because I just thought that the ultimate goal of all the human being is to achieve this inner bliss, but that is also dualism, and then from there is further. So basically, Guruji, I was going through your meditation on mind power, which you start with possibly your, so it's more about like when you talk about breathing, so your physical body and the Manomaya kosha. So that's the first purification. Then you go through the humming, that means connecting with your inner self. Then you go to the third part, which is like a pineal or third eye activation. Now I have a big question here. We understand about the pineal gland or pineal gland that it is very mystical.
It's mystical.
But
it's
also,
very mysterious part of the body. Still, medical science has got to do a lot about it.
And it can be considered as a master of the body as well in some ways. But pituitary and pineal, these are the two which are highly debatable. But there's something else exists at the same time, which I really believe dualism, when you were talking about, that is called amygdala. Amygdala is like, it's in the axis of pineal gland, but it is where all our traumas, all our pain, all our suffering, all our life experiences are recorded. Just giving you a simple example, when I talk to somebody and ask him, do you have any good experiences? They take a long time for them to really reconnect with anything good. But when you talk about anything trauma, they just come like this is my problem and so on. But your third eye activation, when you talk about it, how we can move from amygdala to pineal, and how we can help our clients or our patients.
Beautiful. I'm so happy to listen to your questions. Professor Divakar, you felt so happy when you could simply mentally understand as to how this non-dualistic state can be experienced or achieved. Once you achieve this state, you see the state of ecstasy and bliss that one can experience. And every body on this planet is capable of experiencing it. That is the greatest urge within me, which is forcing me to speak to people, to convey to their hearts that with a very little effort, they can achieve the greatest treasures of this life. And fundamentally, there is a very powerful science behind it. You are asking me how to achieve, how to make a transition from one state to another state and then to the state of bliss. There is only one principle, only one rule. There is only one science, and that is the art of observation without judgment. If you start observing things without judging them, then you get to know the real knowledge about that specific thing. But because we have been tuned to observe things through the mind, we have never been able to see and know anything about whatever we can see or observe. All our observation is only 1%. We are missing the reality by 99%. Simply because when we are seeing an object, while looking at it, we are never looking it objectively. We are looking it with our colored vision.
Yeah, subjective. Yeah.
We are projecting something to it, and that projection becomes a barrier in knowing and understanding that specific thing. So, when through the third eye meditation process, with eyes closed, you are looking at the third eye on the midpoint between the eyebrows. If you continue observing that point without any judgment, without thinking, then you will have a direct contact with the third eye. Now your attention will be reaching straight to the third eye, and that attention is the food for the third eye. Once that attention gets diluted with your thoughts, then the right food to the third eye is not received. And because of that, you are never able to penetrate into the depths of the third eye. And if you develop that knack of observation without judgment, that is the nucleus of the whole thing. And that has been termed as witnessing. Witnessing means just seeing things as they are without being colored by your projection. That is what has been termed as Sakshi in our
observer
literature. That is observer. That is why I have gone with this name Sakshi Shree, so that even my name can be a message for the people that witnessing or observation without judgment is the theme that can create miracles in their lives. And this is the essence of all the sadhanas, and this is the essence of all meditation techniques and devices so far invented on this planet. If you can observe things without judgment, you can be a meditator, otherwise you can never be a meditator.
Now you have created another problem for me. I was so excited about the CBT third wave, cognitive behavioral therapy, where we have been talking about mindfulness.
Yeah.
And I am a great supporter of mindfulness, which means that, being aware.
Yeah.
But now I think you have given me another task to really think further than mindfulness, which is basically seeing without judging. Now, how we can take it from seeing without judging to non-judgmental? Because all of us, we have a judgment in our experiences, and whenever there are any sort of experiences what we have with the judgment.
So as you told me that you have been a very powerful advocate of mindfulness.
I was happy about it.
And very happy about mindfulness, no doubt. What do you mean by mindfulness?
Being there. I think that's what we understand, that it comes from Vipassana, which means being aware of your breathing, being aware of who you are, where your mind is. But I think now you're going beyond mind. You're saying that no thought.
Do you find mindfulness is a difficult task?
Mindfulness is a very challenging task for many people, honestly, because mind, as you understand, Guruji, I mean, not understand, but mind has a power either to go into the past or the future. It doesn't really stay in the present. But now you have given us more difficult task, how to live in this moment without judgment.
You see, I'm trying to explain the whole thing. In mindfulness, you are always aware of whatever you are doing.
Sure.
If you are talking to me, you are aware, and out of this awareness, this talk becomes more beautiful. If you are eating, you are aware that whatever you are eating, you are fully aware.
Yeah.
If you are taking a glass of water, you are fully aware of the taste of the water, the way it is going inside. The practice of mindfulness clearly envisages that you are totally involved with that thing which you are doing at a particular moment.
Yeah.
If you are walking, just walk mindfully. If you are eating, just eat mindfully.
True.
Whatever you are doing, do it with total attention. If you are doing it with total attention, only then you can be mindful. But if some attention is there, some is somewhere else, some attention is somewhere else, some attention is somewhere else, then you cannot be fully mindful of the thing you are doing. Right?
Yeah, because attention, wherever your attention goes, your mind goes there as well.
Yeah. So being mindful means you are totally at one place. You are totally involved in one activity. When you are absolutely involved in one activity, it means you are not involved in any other activity. That is a state of mindfulness.
Yeah, that's true. Being aware.
When you are in a state of relaxation, what happens? When you are in a state of relaxation, you are every time occupied with this thing or with that thing. Your mind is never without any occupation.
True.
And relaxation means, meditation means, when your mind is not occupied at all. When you have managed time, when you are doing nothing, either mentally or physically, that state of doing nothing is the state of being in meditation. That state is the state of being in total relaxation. You can be totally in a state of relaxation only when you have the taste of being totally involved in any activity. When you are in a state of total activity, only then you can have the experience of total non-activity. When you are total in work, only then you can be totally no work.
Absorbs.
Being in a state of total no work is the state of being in meditation. And being totally involved in the work is the state of being in the act. And you will be surprised that is in acts of mindfulness, it is very difficult to become aware of yourself while you are involved in your mindful activities. Mindfulness means doing all activities mindfully.
Sure.
And for self-realization, you are required to be aware of yourself every time.
And that's my question, because that's what you have been talking about, no thought. And when you are at the state of no thought, does that mean samadhi, Guruji? Or is it like you're totally absorbed and there is non-duality?
Samadhi means simply a state of superconsciousness.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by superconsciousness? By superconsciousness, you mean that you are fully conscious. And fully conscious means that you are fully present. You are fully present only when there are no thoughts. Otherwise, you can never be present. When you are available to your master, you experience for the first time his presence. In fact, people have no experience of the present moment. This is only a subject for discussion. They know the present moment only in words, just as they know God only in words. They know love only in words. Exactly the same way they know only through words that there is present moment, but they don't have any experience of the present moment. Can be experienced only when you are involved in no thoughts. If thoughts are there, they will take your consciousness away. The thoughts take your consciousness to the things which is the content of the thoughts, and you are left no more there where you are. So only when you can have the experience of no thoughts, only then for the first time you will come to know what is the present moment. And that is what is my mastery, in which I can take you to the present moment.
That's what I have been looking for. I know that I'm aware of the time, but also I know that there are so many deep questions which are discussed today. I got a lot of answers, but I think it's just impossible to get everything in one meeting with you. May I request you, Guruji, there's no thought process. Maybe if you can give me another time so we can go through that.
We can talk a little about it.
That's right. And that would be great, because as a matter of fact, I'm not, I don't want to take a lot of your time, because I know that how many people are waiting for you. But yeah, I would love to share that with a lot of people, those who are on a journey of spirituality. If there's any connection between no thoughtful or no thoughts and the Kashmiri Shaivism or Vigyan Bhairav, where the 112 techniques were discussed, or is it something totally experiential, or something which you have revealed within yourself?
You see, I'm feeling very happy that you refer to this treatise known as Vigyan Bhairav Tantra of Shaivism. It's a wonderful treatise on self-exploration. There are 112 techniques, and all these 112 techniques are devices for experiencing yourself. That is, there are 112 devices of self-realization, and all these devices are the techniques of meditation. And there is one thing common to all the 112 techniques. I've gone through each and every single device.
Wow.
All the 112 techniques are the flowers. And there is one thread which is running through all the 112 techniques, and that thread is known as witnessing. And that is what we call Sakshi Shree. That is the soul of all the 112 techniques of meditation. And Sakshi Shree, or witnessing, means just seeing things as they are without any judgment. That is what I talked, observation without judgment. So you can take any subject. Either you are focusing on the third eye, or you take up vipassana when you are watching your breath. If you go on watching your breath just for 1 hour, make it a regular practice just to watch your breath. Watch your breath without thoughts. And this will come in due course of time. With a little patience, if you start watching the breath, just watch. While coming in with the breath, going out with the breath, in due course of time, within 3 weeks of time, you will start becoming one with the breath. And if you can practice this for 1 hour every day, miracles will start happening in your life, in your experience. Because it is the simplest way to experience witnessing, to practice witnessing, to practice observation without judgment. Once you start watching your breath, the more and more your witnessing power grows, you will find that your breath movement has started becoming slower and slower. If you are breathing 10-12 breaths in 1 minute, with 3 weeks of practice, you will find that it is 3 to 4 breaths in 1 minute. And with practice of 45 days continuous without breath, you will experience that in 1 minute, only 1 breath is coming and going. And in due course of time, you will find as if your breath has stopped. And then your power of witnessing will start growing more and more. Once your witness becomes more and more powerful, when the witnessing becomes more and more powerful, your mind becomes less and less powerful. Your thoughts become less and less powerful. Once your witnessing power grows up to 90%, the power of your thoughts becomes 10%. One day it happens that your power of witnessing goes to 99%. Then the power of your thoughts become 1%. And one day it happens that you are witnessing and the road is clean, no thoughts are there. And the witness is witnessing himself because no thoughts are there. Now your consciousness becomes established in itself. That is the state of no mind. And that happens, it comes as a knack through this practice. And there is no other science except practicing it and developing the knack of becoming an observer without thoughts, without judgment.
Beautiful. I must say that you're a true master.
Now the observer becomes the observer.
Because what I really feel, the way you decoded 112 techniques and then gave just one word, that is witness.
That is witnessing. And that is why I became Sakshi Shree also.
Yeah, because people have
to convey this message to the whole world that the science is very
clear, very simple, but people have made it so complicated that they think that you need to have.
So my all-out effort is to simplify spirituality so that spirituality can become a part of life and living of every individual on this earth.
There is a pause between breathing in and breathing out. When one of the techniques, when they say that when you go in and go out, there is a pause. This is what we also understand.
While you are breathing inside and outside both.
Now, how to really increase that pause? Because I think when you talk about breathing in and breathing out, it's
I have tried to simplify even the most difficult
complicated thing.
So, you see, this technique of watching the breath was given by Lord Shiva to Parvati through the Vigyan Bhairavtantra. And it was Gautam Buddha who made this technique very popular.
Available to everybody.
And it was through this technique that he became enlightened. And the technique of Vigyan Bhairavtantra envisages watching the intervals.
Yeah.
And through watching the intervals, you will become enlightened. That is the master technique. Bhagwan Buddha took only half of that technique.
I fully agree.
He simply focused on watching the breath. Once you become expert in watching the incoming and outgoing breath, you need not bother about the intervals at all. You will get the glimpse of interval on your own. You have nothing to think of it. He simply took up the half and realized the whole truth to the state of enlightenment. That is the natural byproduct, that if you become capable of watching your incoming and outgoing breath without being affected, obsessed by your judgment, if you become capable of watching as a witness, then you need not bother about the gaps. You will already overpower them and the gaps will become perceptible to you. They will come to your experience. You forget all about it, it will happen on its own.
That's again witness without judgment, isn't it? Because
yeah.
When you're doing this,
I'm telling you on the authenticity of my own experience. So just do it and see the miracle.
Everything is a miracle with you, Guruji. It's I think it's such an eye opener and so simplified. Honestly, it is so simple.
That is my basic purpose behind all my activities behind Science Divine Movement. That spirituality must be simplified so that it can become a part of life and living of every individual. Live it. Do not preach it. No words are needed to explain it. Live it, and everybody can live it. Until and unless spirituality is lived, it simply remains theoretical and it has got no meaning for human beings. And humanity can be transformed only by living spirituality, and that is possible only through witnessing, nothing else.
I think this is a big takeaway for us. All of us, I think what we got today is a very in-depth understanding about mind and body and soul. But the takeaway message is being witness, or just being a witness of who you are. And then with these practices, what we heard from Guru Sakshi Ji, and Sakshi means witness again, we can transform our life, but we can also help others to transform their life. Before I say pranam to you, any final word to people?
The essence of my whole message of spirituality is that just as there is a science behind everything that we are doing in our life, whether it is medical science, physics, chemistry, geology, or computer science. Just as there are sciences of the outer world, there is a science for the inner world also. And the science of the inner world can be termed as spirituality. And spirituality is a science until and unless a science of the inner is developed. There is no possibility of this humanity surviving anymore. Because if there is no science of the inner, people will be divided into Hinduism, Islam, Christianity and Judaism, and they will be fighting, and ultimately they will bring their own doom. If we want to create one humanity on this earth, just as physical sciences are one for everyone, whether one is Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, medical science is one for everyone. Physical sciences are one for everyone. Chemistry is one for everyone. Mathematics is one for everyone. So the science of the inner should be one for everyone, and the science of the inner is what I call the science divine. And the inner science is the science which is based on the essence of witnessing. If this witnessing is understood, applied and lived, every individual can know himself, and every individual, after knowing himself, will be able to understand for the first time that we all are one. And only then it will bring the end of all the old religions. I want the science of the inner to come and spread all over the world, so that old religions are bid goodbye forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.